What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. You already know. It's episode 107 of the Standing A podcast. Today, I'm your host. Even though we got the host, I'm your host, Tommy Rush Jr. We got the host, Aaron Sorial. Hey, he is on site for Tank Ghost. And we got, you already know, the Burt Brown Sugar, Courtney Tanner with the business. What's happening, fellas? Aaron, what's up, man? Hey, what you got? We already know you out there, boots on ground. What's happening, man?
Yeah, I'm at my room at the Signature Hotel, which connects straight to MGM Grand. But yeah, I just got out with the win festivities for Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. So to keep it short, both men came in. They both came in correct. Tank Davis weighed in at 133.4, and Ghost Martin, he weighed in 1 pound heavier than Tank, but both are under the weight limit, and they're both ready. They look sharp. They, they, they both look they're ready for this fight. So it should be action packed, and I'm looking for and for this episode, looking excited to talk about it, man. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, we already know they ready. We got to fight, man. Courtney, what's happening, baby?
Hey, what's going on? Y'all know what it is. Hey, it's the one you hate to love and love to hate, Burt Brown Sugar, aka Courtney Tanner. What's going on? Hey, so blessed, so glad to be back and locked in with y'all. And I ain't no hater, but I'm mad jealous right now, dude. I can't even hold you, man. Hey, I wanted to ask you, are you credentialed or are you on your own dime on this one?
No, no, not credentialed. I'm just
Uh,
here as a fan, but I'm trying to, you know, squeeze in as much good
Hey,
content
UWA,
as
Boxing
feasible.
Writers Association of America. Y'all need to just go ahead and let us in, yo. Hey, our
Yeah.
movement is too big for us not to be included, man. Hey, but that's another that's another topic of discussion. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the fight this weekend. I can't. I'm usually in and out on the weekends out here in Korea, and with the time difference, it's been difficult to catch all the fights live or whatever. But this is one of those ones, man. Canceled all plans, bro. I'll be locked in the room out here, man, and you know what I'm saying, hey, don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what time it is. The fight is on, man. So yeah, man, I'm very excited about this one. I think this is I think this is one of those fights that's just good for boxing, good for the culture of boxing with with Tank Davis returning to the ring after a long absence. We got as in the words of Floyd Mayweather, a young hungry lion coming up through the ranks, and Frank Martin, aka saying, "Hey, Tommy, I have a slight suspicion that's your little cousin, though." You know what I'm saying? But hey, we'll get it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but yeah, I'm happy for the fight. I think it's gonna be an excellent card. Um, and you know, hey, I think it's one of those. It's gonna be one of those weekends where boxing fans can come away saying, no matter what happened with the UFC, no matter what happened with other sports, NBA Finals, Major League Baseball, whatever have you, NHL, Stanley Cup. Hey, boxing won this weekend. I'm declaring that already. So, um, super excited, and as always, super excited to be on here chopping it up with you guys.
Yes, sir. Hey, I got a feeling you gonna be right, man. Boxing gonna win this weekend. Boxing gonna win, and hopefully the Mavs win at some point. So shout out D Town. Hey, we get that dub. But what's up, Tiffany? Tiffany Daniel. She was in the chat with us. So I know. She's sending her love, and Steven ringside. Michael. Love y'all. Hey, so let's get into it, man. Like straight up, we already know what it is. The message, the time, the show at hand. Tank versus Ghost. Let's talk about this, man. Like Aaron, I want you to talk about first. Just give us a little look inside of the atmosphere, the entourage, just the vibe of everything that's going on today with you being on site. and then go into giving us, what your thoughts are on how this fight may shake out.
So the feeling that I got from the crowd, especially when I was in line, which spanned almost a mile, from the entrance of the MGM Grand to the shops, it was a big ass line for the weigh-in, and from basically the majority of the crowd, they're favoring Tank Davis, and this one question keeps popping up. It's kind of like the meme joke, like, Ghost, why'd you take this fight? That's pretty much what they're thinking, especially with that one fan that asked him when Ghost made his arrival. That one fan asked him, why'd you take this fight, which pissed off Derek James, rightfully so. But yeah, that's the question feeling that I mostly got from the fans that I've been hearing, and I kind of share those sentiments. Like, I favor Tank Davis to win, but if I'm speaking from a very technical standpoint, Frank Martin, he's a southpaw. He's very technical, very defensive fighter. He can box. He has all the skills. He checks all the boxes, right? He's very skilled. Errol Spence, he's very confident in his fighter. There's a unique relationship there. Not only his promoter, but his mentor too. So he probably sees something in him that us fans don't. The thing that could work for Frank Martin is that he's hoping for Tank Davis to have a mental hiccup and to land into one of his shots. So he sees that as a weakness in Tank Davis, because they had that type of exchange when they were sparring a few moments back, where that was kind of like the big topic in the press conference. Hey, I clipped you one time, and Tank Davis was trying to downplay that. No, you just pissed me off. But that might be the key. That might be the key that Ghost is hanging on for this fight. But going back to my original point, Gervonta Tank Davis, he's just too much of an elite fighter, and he already alluded to this in the first press conference, that Frank Martin doesn't like body shots, and I think he's gonna go for the body to break him down, because he's not gonna beat him the conventional way, because again, Ghost is a very defensive fighter, so I don't think Tank is going to spin out.
I think we might have temporarily lost Aaron there for a second.
I mean, we can keep it going though.
You keep it going.
When he comes back up online. But I'm glad he touched on the mental aspect and the mental angle of what's going on with it in the fight and the lead up. Oh, hey, Aaron's back on. Hey, Aaron, go ahead and finish your point, man.
Yeah. Yep. We got you, Aaron. You go ahead and take it away, but pick it back up with your point, man. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. So what I was saying was, so Tank Davis, he's not gonna Ghost Martin. His defenses are pretty good. So, oh boy, am I still good?
Yeah, we still got you.
I'm gonna let Courtney. Go ahead, Courtney. I'm gonna once my connection gets stable, I'll resume what I was saying.
No doubt, man. I'll pick it back up, man. But
go ahead, take it away, man.
As I was saying, man, I'm glad that Aaron alluded to the mental angle and the mental aspect of the fight and the matchup and the lead up. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very intriguing because you have this play in dynamic where Frank Martin is promoted by Errol Spence and trained by Derek James. And as we all know in the media as of late, there's huge source of conflict between Errol Spence and Derek James in that former fighter trainer dynamic, and that's where Frank Martin finds himself in the middle of right now. So that's going to be interesting to see how he's going to navigate that going into the biggest fight against the most elite opponent of his career. And just aside from that being said in itself, with Tank Davis being as elite and a top 10 pound for pound guy, that he is, and having fought saying some of the biggest names in and around the smaller and the middle divisions in boxing, and doing it on the biggest stage. This is one of those things where Tank Davis does this. He is pay-per-view. He is a headliner. He is A-side. Fighting in Vegas, wherever he fights, whether it's Vegas, whether it's New York, whether it's his hometown of Baltimore, whether it's down in Atlanta, he is a culture in himself, and bringing that fan base and bringing that energy. And a lot of times when you're in with a guy against that, they bring all that to bear against you. So it's going to be interesting how he handles that relationship dynamic that's going on, how he handles that pressure. About being under the bright lights in Vegas, first pay-per-view, going up against a big A side. And then, so I think it's going to be easy to say, even though Frank Martin is a complete fighter on the up and up, it's one of those things that there was anybody else, but it's not. It's Tank Davis. And I just think Tank Davis is going to be, in that ring, is going to be too skilled. And I think as far as everything else, all the other intangibles, it's going to be a situation where this moment is going to be a little bit too big. And I think that's why the pervasive question has been, hey, why did you take this fight? I'm glad he took it. You know what I'm saying? I think in boxing, we need to gravitate towards this more on the business side of boxing, on the cultural side of boxing, where a guy on the come up who has everything to lose go ahead and stakes it all on himself and gambles on himself. And and props to Frank Martin for doing that and recognizing that early. I think he's kind of taken the Canelo route when he fought Floyd, in that, it's like, hey, okay, I believe in myself, I believe in my abilities. I'm not going to see this much money against anybody else. And I think no matter how it plays out, you could say that the moment's too big and Frank Martin has everything to lose. You could say he has nothing to lose and everything to gain. If he loses, it's kind of, it's expected. Hey, you're in with Tank Davis. If he wins, hey, you elevate yourself for the entirety of your career, because you got that, you got that name on your ledger, on marked, by you. And if you lose, hey, you lost to Tank Davis, you lost to one of the most prepared guys, and you can learn every lesson in the world from it, just like Canelo did. So, that in itself makes it, makes it interesting. That's why, I reiterate the point again that boxing is winning for this fight and winning for the courage that Frank Martin is bringing to bear, and stepping in and going up against a guy like Tank Davis. We as pundits, we as people who are opinion based in the sport might believe that Frank Martin is in over his head. But there's certain people with that competitive nature who have that belief, that inherent belief in themselves, where we see they're in over their head. Being in over the head is where they want to be. It's where they want to operate. That's where they want to shine. It's where they want to display greatness and do some legendary shit in there. So, hey, if he took the fight, man, he signed the contract, he's getting paid. Hey, if you want to be great, go ahead and let him. I'm just here for it. And I think boxing is just equally excited about it. So.
Yeah, man. I think, man, you touched on a great point there, though, and to the notion of why'd you take the fight? Why'd you take the fight? Why'd you take the fight? For that to be the norm, like you really hit a nerve right there, Courtney, because that's the whole
You know,
point.
why did you take the fight? Because I'm a fighter.
Because I'm a fighter, and because this is what I do, and I got the balls to take the fight.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one of the things that, all of us, fans, pundits, everybody, like we can get caught up in right now. That's the problem with fucking boxing right now, is people ain't taking the fights. People not making the fights.
As a pundit, as a person who just gets online and talks shit, you know what I'm saying, in regard to this sport, a sport I love, I ain't gotta believe in Frank Martin. Frank Martin has to believe in himself, though.
Exactly. And he's willing to go after this and even probably voice himself as wanting this in the room, with Errol and whoever else is in charge of making the decisions for who he fights. Man, this is what the hell we need. Like this is part of it, man. Like you said, the young hungry lion, right? When you become the old lion and the lion that's respected amongst that pack, you got fucking scars on your face because you done been in some fights, you done been in some brawls, you got some shit to show. I'm actually the king of this fucking jungle. I didn't just inherit this shit. I'm not just the king of the jungle because I was born a fucking lion. I'm king of the jungle because I'm the fucking king. And I went through the wars to prove it, to earn it, to garner that respect. And so like something like this, somebody like a Frank Martin, that he's been about that action like that, and he carries himself like that. Like, yeah, man, I'm down to fight whoever. We saw him here in Dallas and spoke to him personally. I spoke to him personally about that, and he said it. Like, man, anytime I'm down. I'm down to fight whoever's down to fight me. Like, and I really am about proving that smoke. And he's proving it right now. That was probably 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. He's still about that shit, and he's showing it right here. And he may lose this fight. I got him losing. Do I think that there's gonna be some great moments he has in the fight? Where he is able to showcase his skill, his discipline, all of that. Like, yeah. Do I think he's gonna have some moments where he's able to catch Tank with some good little shots? Yeah. But I think it's like you said, he don't like them body shots. He's in hella shape to prepare because he know them body shots are coming. But is he gonna be able to withstand it? Is he gonna be able to take what Tank is gonna put on him? Is he gonna be able to do that? And I do feel that it's gonna be a moment where it happens and he gets caught and Tank is able to pounce. And that's gonna be the problem. It's just the experience of how you deal with being in those types of waters. And like you said, man, Canelo versus Floyd moment. It could be a great learning lesson for him. It could be something that propels his fucking career to a whole nother level, which that's what happens when you that type of person that's down to be that type of lion. So I'm all for this fucking fight right here. Aaron, man, let's get back to you, man. I know you had some great thoughts on this. I'll get back to you.
I want to piggyback on what you guys just said. So let's say the win is pretty much a lock for Tank. If I'm Frank Martin, I would want these two type of losses, like a Jack Catterall type loss towards Josh Taylor in the first fight, where you lost, but you were a thorn. You were like a pet peeve on Josh Taylor. Hopefully, it'll be that type of loss where, hey, I lost to Tank Davis, but he knocked me out. And also,
shout out to Stephen Ruiz on that prediction.
Yeah.
Last time I was on, I'm saying, hey, shout out, bro.
Yeah. Or another type of good loss is the one with Pitbull, where even though he lost to Tank as well, hey, he got the he got the adoration of the people at
Yes.
Staples Center.
He won the
So
crowd.
And still, like he's still kind of eating off
He's
that,
still
like
eating off that loss, yo.
like
He's
what
still
he was
loss.
able to do, like he's still able to eat off that.
That loss made him a champion.
Right. So what he doesn't want is, for a few rounds, Frank Martin, he's out tit for tat. He's, technically outboxing him against Tate Martin, but he gets knocked out. We're gonna forget those moments, and hey, you don't want that type of loss. So, but to finish up my earlier point where I chopped out, technical wise, Frank Martin, I think he's really depending on Tank Davis to have a mental relapse and then and just fall into one of Frank Martin's nice shots from his left, since he's a southpaw. So hopefully that moment comes for him. But other than that, Tank, I see him breaking him down breaking him down first at the body, and then just overwhelming him and TKO for Tank Davis. That's how I see it.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. And there's been so much that's been floated around. Like, either way, Tank wins this fight. Let's say Tank wins this fight convincingly, dominantly. What's next on the horizon for Tank? What would we like if we had the magic wand? If we were Turki, if we were Oscar, if we were anybody in all of control, what would we want to see? And Courtney, I'm gonna preempt this. I know that what we would want to see is a little bit of a different thing than what we may see. So two of them. What the reality and what would we want to see if we could match up? Because this is becoming a thing, and we know this is becoming a thing for Tank Davis. It's been a thing for Tank, his opponents, and kind of how he's just kind of finagled his way through his career. So let's talk about the reality. But if we really could just press it and say this is what the hell is going to happen.
I'm gonna break it down into 3 aspects on that. I'm gonna explore what no longer is feasible, and that's Devin Haney as an opponent. The shine got taken. Ryan Garcia he took the shine and the polish and the lacquer off that one.
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? Like no matter how it goes, Devin Haney can't even chime in with an opinion anymore. You know what I'm saying on that, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yes, I was emphatic last episode about Ryan Garcia and how he got down in that, but like the way he did it, it is what it is. And Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying, he may have entered the chat, but he is immediately muted. You know what I'm saying on that one. So that's what's no longer feasible. I think personally, and I think what a lot of boxing fans would like to see after this point and the juncture going forward is Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis. With that, and then Shakur Stevenson is it's about to be his last dance and his last run on Top Rank. So you know what I'm saying, hey, it is more feasible than ever. But we all know the business of boxing, and those matchups, they marinate. I think with the Saudi royal family entering the sphere and the atmosphere within the boxing realm, I think marination times and cook times have been greatly reduced. Because they're bringing a super convection oven into it. But
they're fast tracking that.
I think at some point they are gonna have to let it marinate and let it build up, or let it build back up per se. And so that's, you know what I'm saying, that's the fantasy. That, you know, so that's the fantasy matchup. I think the solid reality is Tank Davis goes back in there with Pitbull. I think, you know what I'm saying, I think they run it back. You know what I'm saying, I think this is the moment where they go ahead and they run it back, because Pitbull has done everything he's had to do to earn, you know what I'm saying, to earn the serious consideration, to be, you know what I'm saying, in the conversation for that fight and for that payday, and to be back on that stage. You know what I'm saying, as a point where the first fight, it was kind of gifted because he came in as a replacement opponent, and he made good, and he elevated, you know what I'm saying, off that of getting that opportunity off that shot, and is made as good as possible on that. Now it's a valid fight where people want to see that for the, you know what I'm saying, they see what Pitbull has done, they see how Tank Davis has continued to operate, and it's one to say, yeah, you know what I'm saying, we want to see it run back. You know what I'm saying, we're willing to sit down and view that fight again. We're willing to buy tickets, we're willing to buy that pay-per-view if need be. And they can run it back. And I think that's probably the easiest big attention grabbing fight that could be made in the foreseeable future for Tank Davis.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Aaron, what you got, man? What you got?
You know, I'm pretty much on the same boat with Corny. I'll just add more about Pitbull Cruz. I think Pitbull, as I agree as well, that Pitbull has he's done more than enough to warrant a rematch with Tank Davis. But aside from that,
did we lose him again?
Probably. But yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts, Tommy.
So I was trying to hold my thoughts because I'm a lion, man. I've been sitting here thinking and waiting. When do we get Tank and Pitbull again? I already know this, the plan to run it back. Like, I mean, so, and here's the interesting thing, because here's the new wrinkle in it, because we all know, and this kind of comes down to a little bit of criticism on Tank, just from some of the pre-fight hype and all of that, the kicking Morton off the card and telling him be his own man and all of that stuff. Like, you know, I had some criticism for him when it came down to some of that, but because of, you know, the man that he's been under Floyd. And so, like, I say all of that because of just some of the things that have transpired with Leonard Ellerbe and the change that just happened with him stepping down from Mayweather Promotions and pretty much getting ready to join Tank. You know, so we know that Tank has been very closely following kind of that Floyd path and the Latino fighters and all of that stuff. Like, when was he gonna spin the block on that one? Because he already knew with the way that fight went, like, he couldn't go right back into it. The fight was too fucking close for Pitbull to be somebody that came in short notice and took that fight. It was too fucking close. So he had to let it marinate, just like you said, Courtney. That's what I'm like. He let it happen to see, all right, well, what's this dude gonna do? Pitbull has done what he's needed to do in that time, in that gap. So, like, as attracted as Tank is to being the pay-per-view headliner, the superstar, all of that, when was he going to spin the block on that one so he can go and kind of get his revenge on seeking a more devastating win versus this guy, and also capitalize on the fact that, you know, all right, I can do that and maximize on this type of fight, you know, with this type of opponent. So I 100% am wanting that to be. If he wins convincingly, he wins like that. I want to see it. I want him to get that type of pressure again and see what he's able to do, because it's either going to do great justice again for Pitbull, or it's going to put even more pressure on Tank to really show us what he's about. What we really want to see out of him, and to bolster him into a different atmosphere than just the I want to be worried about pay-per-view money and just be the money star. It's going to force that pressure on his man card, if you will, of bro, you got fucking names that you need to go fucking see. We've talked about Shakur. Shout out to Tiffany. She talked about Loma as well. I'm still interested in that one with Loma, because Loma is, while he's a little bit longer in the tooth in age, he's still kind of reserved when it comes down to his professional pedigree and career, and he's wise enough that those moments that seeks out to just crush you. I want to see what happens if he does get caught by one of those, but he's wise enough to stay away from that shit. So I'm interested in that chess match, because Tank is very smart. He is very wise. He does have a great ring IQ and ring generalship. He's smart in the ring, and he showed us that after his first few years of criticism with his discipline. But I want to see what he would do with that, because that's like an elevated version, minus a little bit of power. That's of a ghost, with even more experience, even more IQ than what we might see in this fight. So I'm pretty interested in that one as well. Aaron, we got you.
Hey, hold up though. I'm
jump in there.
I want to say something though, man. Hey, I'm not gonna say I'm out of the loop, but I've been intermittently in it, saying at spots or whatever, man. Yo, that's full petty, man. I didn't know he kicked Merton off the card, yo.
Like, oh yeah.
I didn't know he kicked Floyd's love child off the card, bro.
He kicked him off. It's on Twitter. He kicked him off and basically told him, next time be a man of your own, or something like that, and stop talking that shit. Don't forget why you throwing this ape shit up. Like something to that effect. Like, and kicked his ass off the card. like you gonna tell this man to be a man of your own and speak for yourself and all that. Like, bro, you don't reckon? Like, yeah, he was heavy under that Floyd thumb for years. Don't forget where you came from, homie. Like, you was under that thumb hardcore in a lot more years than what that young man is. So I get it, but
I think that's two-pronged, man. I think that very obviously is a shot at Floyd, but I think that also might be some mentorship in that it's like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and differentiate yourself and establish yourself and define yourself for yourself early on, you know what I'm saying, or sooner than I did. So yeah, that's interesting, man. My bad, Aaron.
I feel you on that. I like that, and I didn't really think of it. I mean, and now that you mentioned that, like, I get, I see it a whole lot different, because you're right. There's been a whole lot of that, like, mental warfare that's been going on right now. Floyd putting on Instagram that this fight is canceled. Like trolling, like shit like that. Like, like they both going back and forth and going at it. Like, there's and we know that this is the trend as well. That every time Tank fights, there's some beef with Floyd that happens to promote his fights every fucking time.
And shout out to Tank Davis, man, for being on the anti-hero on that aspect, because what I agree, and y'all know, man, y'all know that I'm the biggest Floyd fan that I know as a fighter. But he's, what I'm saying? But the thing about Floyd is I'm so tired of whenever Tank or whenever a Floyd affiliated or promoted fighter goes on, goes on and gets to the highest stage, Floyd does nothing but make it about him. And I think, I think I'm not the only Floyd fan who is tired of that shit. I know I'm not the only boxing fan who is tired of that. And so shout out to Tank Davis, man. basically reinvigorating and redefining the narrative on that, as far as like Floyd, hey, you got, what I'm saying, you get the hell up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? This is us over here, So yes, I think that definitely needed to happen. And what I'm saying, whether Floyd feels it or not, I think that needs to happen for Floyd's own good. What we'll probably see as a result of Floyd schedule another exhibition fight,
so he can tell us how many billions he made off the fight in 36 minutes.
Relevant in this conversation, then I need to be relevant and validated somewhere else. I need that attention. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, but and that's another topic of discussion, because those exhibition fights are garnering less and less and less and less of attention as he goes on. So, but
yeah, and Tiffany, she agrees. Like, there's many people that are distancing themselves from Floyd and his antics. Getting stuck in Dubai for however long that he was stuck in Dubai with that proof of life picture that he took.
I didn't see it, but I didn't see that pic. But I guarantee if I'd seen it, my reaction would have been the usual. What the hell does Floyd got on?
Hey. Yeah. I'll send it to you, and you will say that. Aaron, let's get back to you, man. I know you had some thoughts. What's up?
Nothing more to add, but I guess I'll add this is like we've come a long way as far as as far as watching Mayweather promotions devolve, I guess. First, it was we see Floyd Mayweather at the podium taking the shine away from the fighters promoting, always speaking about himself. Now we don't see him as much at the podium as much anymore. It's a big change, from then and now. And as you guys said, people are distancing themselves from Floyd, and probably for good reason. So it's very interesting to know how far that Mayweather Promotions brand has. I don't know if I'm using the right word. I guess devolved. I don't know, but it's I guess change is good for the better of the sport. Less Floyd Mayweather, meaning which could lead to these fighters having more of an individual presence for themselves, not always Floyd always taking away their shine going forward. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yes, sir. Hey, let's dial it back, man. So we've talked about that one a good amount. It's gonna be a great fight. We're gonna be able to talk about this on previous episodes when we kind of recap this and talk about what actually happens in this fight. But amazing fight. We're all gonna be tuned in. We boxing junkies, so we're gonna be on it. We're gonna be ready. We're gonna be willing. We're gonna be ready with our notes to enjoy it. But let's go back on the thriller. On the Triller. Let's talk about Broner and Cobbs. Man, so first, what I do want to say is I'm not a little. I don't know. To be fair, I'm a little disappointed. I won't say I'm a lot disappointed. I'm disappointed a lot, but I'm a little disappointed in their pre-fight like antics, the promotion, the shit that I expected to get from the two of them. I thought that shit was gonna be like nuts. Like I thought I was gonna be thoroughly entertained by, social media posts, like the interviews, the press conferences. I did get a kick out of the whatever the hell that was when they had that little press conference in like what looked like fucking Don King's office or something. and Adrien Broner was in there telling him like, I eat all of these snacks. These snacks are mine. And you ain't never been able to come in here and eat no snacks. I'll kick you out of here. Like the shit that he was saying in there, I thought the two of them, they did pretty good on that one. But I expected a whole lot more of theatrics and just excitement, fun, shit talking out of the two of them being put together, and especially when Don King was fucking involved. So a little disappointed there. But let's talk about the fight. You know, I will say that just from my perspective, um, my brain had Broner winning the fight. I did state, and you know, and shout out to our boxing chat that we got with all the fellas, that I did see that, you know, the makeup of this fight, Broner and his lack of discipline and his conditioning, his up and down in his conditioning, his age being past, obviously well past his prime when it comes down to all of this. Um, the awkwardness of Blair Cobbs, the way that Broner lacks his punch output and his flat foot, you know, like just there was so many different things that I felt could go in Cobb's favor. But as I said, as well, I think that a lot of us have also carried some additional extra credit for Adrien Broner because of the talent, the potential, the success, the things that we did see out of him and that we've hoped would always continue to return every time we see him come back and make weight and make a fight. I think we've carried some of that hope and given him some extra credit and some of that stuff. And so I seriously thought, like, man, this dude, he'll be able to do this, or he'll be able to, yeah. But I also knew it could go this route, and it did. He got knocked down. He got his fucking tooth knocked out. Like, come on, man. Like, it was a show, to say the least. But Courtney, give us your thoughts.
All right, so yeah, I definitely got shit to say, man. I definitely got shit to say. First off, on the aspect of how, you know what I'm saying, you know, basically Adrien Broner getting extra credit. His has been maxed out with me for quite some time, man, because this dude fights like now on every like once in 5 year average. You know what I'm saying? So like I personally saw this as an uphill and a very, you know what I'm saying, him be I didn't even see him as a live underdog coming in. I really didn't have much to say in the run up and the lead up. I didn't watch the fight. I definitely didn't buy that shit on Triller Live. You know what I'm saying? I you know, and you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, and the thing is too is the run up, you know what I'm saying, the promotional aspect, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, it was half-hearted as hell. Don King has no more budget. You know what I'm saying? All of Don King's benefactors are in federal prison, dead, or you know what I'm saying, they quit fucking with dude like in the 90s. You know, you know, not what was sadder than Adrien Broner's display in the ring is the listlessness of the all, you know what I'm saying, the once all-powerful Don King. You know what I'm saying, to where they're doing press conferences in this dude's office and they're talking about snacks and stuff. And like, as far as how that correlates to Broner's performance, man, dude looked like he was eating ho-hos and Cheez-Its that whole camp, bro. You know, hey, dude looked like he went in the ring, you know what I'm saying, smacking on some Trident gum and so and some of those strawberry candies they, you know what I'm saying, the old ladies hand you in church, you know, like, you know, hey, you know.
That don't nobody know what the name of it is.
Where was your dietitian, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, where was your sports psychologist? You know what I'm saying, in this, man? Because they, you know what I'm saying, it was all lacking. It was all lacking. And the thing is too is, you know what I'm saying, you talked about the run up. You know, Blair Cobbs is a showman, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know he's carried in very high esteem, you know what I'm saying, with this panel because, you know what I'm saying, of the love he's shown us or whatnot. But, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, too, is you know what I'm saying, I always got to call it like I see it, no matter whose feelings I hurt. I think, you know what I'm saying, I think after the, you know what I'm saying, after Blair Cobbs took his first L, I think that dampened his spirit. And you know what I'm saying, and I think that's taking something that I think this having this fight on this stage and against that name and barrel might restore that. I think it certainly will, and I think he's definitely got the talent and definitely recognizes in himself that there's things that he needs to expound on and he needs to improve on. And I think Blair Cobbs is a guy who is certainly not there yet. But if he continues to do the right things in his career and maintain the right focus, he can, you know what I'm saying, he can get back up there to the cusp of the elite level. I do have that confidence in him. But the thing is, it was an easy, you know what I'm saying, it was like a get well fight for Blair Cobbs against against a very significantly degraded and faded champion, former champion, man. And you know what I'm saying, when you look at Adrien Broner's accomplishments on paper, man, it's one of those things where just looking at him on paper, the dude has a, you know what I'm saying, he has a case to be in the conversation for the Hall of Fame one day. You know what I'm saying? Just based on those accomplishments and how early and how fast and how in succession he did, you know what I'm saying, he did what he did. But, you know what I'm saying, and I know I know there's more people than not in boxing that go on longer than they should have. And we've seen legend after legend experience humiliating defeat in the later part of their careers. And it's like, why would they still in there at that point? You know what I'm saying? But Ali and Joe Louis were pushing 40 when they took, you know what I'm saying, when they took those types of ass whoopings. Adrien Broner, you know what I'm saying, is, you know what I'm saying, just in his early 30s, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, that's what, you know what I'm saying, that's what's sad. As, you know, as a point where a lot of guys who have the resume and the accomplishments that he has are at peak or barely coming down from peak at this point or at this stage in their careers. This dude is already well past it, you know. So I'm saying, that's why I say, and I know there's probably going to be a little commentary on this. I already see people, the screen flickering. I'm not saying that Adrien Broner is a Hall of Fame or deserves to be, you know, deserves consideration for Hall of Fame. But I'm saying, you know, saying, but I'm saying a four division champion before the age of 24. You know, saying, if we didn't see what we had seen in these past few outings from Broner, you know what I'm saying, that would be valid. But obviously, because of what he has shown and the things that he has not proven, obviously we already know that's, you know what I'm saying, that's a joke for Adrien Broner to receive Hall of Fame consideration. But I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the accomplishments of where he was and where he finds himself at now, he's not even taking himself seriously. You know, as far as the vigor in his shit talk to you know what I'm saying, to a equally sharpened showman like Blair Cobbs, and he was just listless. He was just, you know what I'm saying, his heart wasn't even in it, man. When he went in there and he fought like his heart wasn't even in it, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, I can't even imagine the payday was that significant. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't a payday. This was a fight taken in hopes that there will be future paydays on the horizon, and that's not even valid, man. You know, and I feel like we're saying this after every Adrien Broner fight, man. I hope he gets it together, man. And I, you know what I'm saying, I hope he make, you know what I'm saying, the dude's got like 7 or 8 kids. You know what I'm saying, I hope there's an end game for him, man. Where, you know what I'm saying, like a commentary career is not valid. I don't think Adrien Broner as a trainer is valid, man. I just hope he can find I hope he can find a lane to step into outside of the ring and just be good, you know what I'm saying, and be good in that, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what capacity it is. Tiffany Daniels, you know what I'm saying, she is from Cincinnati, that area that raised Adrien Broner. You know what I'm saying, I would hope he would maybe he could reach out to her, you know what I'm saying, with some ideas, you know what I'm saying, and how he could be a better ambassador or better for, you know what I'm saying, for us. Because it's one of those things, I don't know what it is, but I know somebody could benefit from Adrien Broner and, you know what I'm saying, him having their ear and at least telling them what way not to go. You know, hey, you need to do everything opposite of what I did in my career for you to make it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever capacity you can do that on, that's the space he now needs to live in. And you know, I think if he does that, he salvages his legacy. You know, I think Adrien Broner could become some type of brand ambassador for boxing, or, you know what I'm saying, for his region out there in Cincinnati or whatever. But definitely inside the career, it's not it, man. It's not it. And I just, you know, with his past travails with substance abuse, his mental health issues and stuff like that, you know, I just hope he gets to a place where we don't got to worry about him anymore, man. You know, and you know what I'm saying, it's pointed that, you know, Paulie Malignaggi, who he did everything. If you could do something to somebody to make them hate you, he did everything to Paulie Malignaggi. You know, and Paulie Malignaggi,
you took my side piece, bro. Don't talk about my side piece.
He's still Paulie Malignaggi is still in tears.
That's my side piece.
The subject Adrien Broner comes up. And not, not out of anger, but because the status is like, it breaks his heart to see Adrien Broner out there, asked out in the game like that. You know what I'm saying? That says something. And that says that, Adrien Broner is a person, a human being with a lot of redeemable qualities who just won't behave, who just won't act right. I just hope he gets it together, man, and he can find peace. That's what that brought out for me, man, is that he needs peace. He needs to exist somewhere, and it definitely needs to be outside the ring.
Hey, he mad because he took his side piece, man. that was his side piece. Hey, no, seriously though. I mean, you made a lot of great points.
Well, Blair Cobbs left with his heart and possibly his girl. You know what I'm saying? And he probably took some of those snacks. On the way out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Blair Cobbs took his lunch money in front of everybody.
Yeah, and to this point, he was at the presser talking about catching bodies and all of this. Like, he was really bugging out. Like, he's like, oh yeah, and I got people and this and that, and don't think this, and like making threats to him. And then you got in there and got lumped up like that.
In 2024, you should not talk about catching bodies or killing people because if we look at the numbers, if we look at the numerology on this, it never fucking goes well.
Yeah,
when people are speaking that into existence, man. Everybody who talks about catching a body or killing somebody inside or outside the ring usually goes in there and gets humiliated after they do that. Yeah. Hey, stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, stop it.
Yeah, exactly. You need to realize, like, you saying this, but what's the outcome been looking like? And you following the trend right now. You keep talking that shit, you fuck around and you find out. And he fuck around and found out.
Blair Cobbs is a dude who grew up with fugitive parents on the run.
Exactly.
Down in Mexico.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
you talk.
Are you really talking about catching bodies? And that's, is that shit? If anything, that's triggering, somebody who came up like Blair Cobbs. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
you may think you came from the roughest of hoods until you find somebody that came from under the hood. So let's get active, and it got active. So we saw what happened. Aaron, give us some thoughts you got, man.
Yeah, just some quick thoughts. I had Cobbs winning this fight, just on the mere fact that Broner was on a long hiatus with Cobbs. He's been fairly active, and to Cobbs' credit, he has only had one loss, and it was a competitive loss. Well, not competitive, but he got to Alexis Rocha, but it was a competitive fight, even though it ended the way it did. He still rebounded with some wins after that before the Broner fight. So, and he's still on that mind state of trying to get a world title when this time is done. And when you have two fighters with two different agendas, with Broner, he came in with this fight just to get another paycheck, but with Cobbs, he came in it with a more serious mind state, and he took it way more seriously, despite the theatrics and the presser. He took this fight seriously enough to, he took it serious enough to shut out Broner, to make him, hopefully once and for all, make him, consider, you should not be fighting anymore. This is my time now. To be a piece of who you once was, which was a 4 division champion before the age of 24. Be at peace with that. Don't try to force the issue with who you are, who you are now, and you wouldn't be taking these type of devastating losses. So, yeah, going back to what I said, I had Cobbs being the favorite in this fight, and that's all I got to add to that.
Yeah, man. I think that I think that it's interesting. One, and we talked about it. The loss that Cobbs has, and I thought about this immediately as well. You guys know, like, hey, we need to see that run back. We need to see Cobbs and Rocha again. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but we need to make that bad boy happen and let's see it so we can get something going. I do want to we got some stuff in the comments that I actually want to pose to you guys. Better resume from Julian Given Jules. Shout out Jules. Better resume in your opinion, Aaron, Cobbs or Virgil Ortiz right now? Both have Hooker. Cobbs has Broner. Virgil has Aegis.
Oh, kind of. That's a head scratcher. Let me hand it to Courtney on that one.
You know what? If Virgil Ortiz hadn't had the amount of cancellations, you know what I'm saying? It would be an advantage. But seeing as it is what it is, maybe they're tied. And I don't know, man. And it's, you know what I'm saying? But maybe they're tied, man. I don't want to do Virgil Ortiz like that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and say they're tied. If anybody wants to disagree with me, hey, I respect that.
Hey,
I respect that. Hey, if anybody wants to type on the comments that I'm full of it, which they usually do, saying, hey, I got it. Hey, I respect that.
Hey, all right. The hot seat has come back to Aaron. Aaron, what say you? What are your thoughts on this? It is tight. I can't say it is tight. What are your thoughts?
You know what? I'm gonna steal a concept, kind of steal from Drink Champs, where when they ask pick this or that, and if you can't decide, take a shot. Well, I'm gonna take a shot to that.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I don't know, man.
Hey,
I'm gonna take a shot to that.
But hey, I'll say this. Okay,
hold on, wait, both of y'all. So I gotta take 2 shots. Hold on.
Okay. No. Hey, hold on. Hey, hit me with the Kanye. Let me finish. Okay, I'll pose this. Does Blair Cobbs have a Maurice Hooker type win? You know what I'm saying? We all saw with Virgil. Wait a minute. No, wait, my bad. No, I'm thinking of Jose Ramirez, man. Yeah, I was like, yeah, scratch that. Yeah.
Yeah, they both got Hooker.
Oh, okay, that's right.
They both, they both. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. It's like 9 in the morning over here. I'm still kind of foggy. But I mean, yeah, I would say it like that. If, you know what I'm saying, Maurice Hook. You know what I'm saying, like I would say that's why you would have to give it to Virgil Ortiz.
I can respect both opinions and the feedback on it, and I do agree, and I think that it is very tight. I would also favor Virgil, not by a ton, but a little bit to Tiffany's point, like for a long time, it's been this train of Boots and Virgil on parallels, and us understanding that the business doesn't want to turn that track where they meet yet, and let it build as we say, like, let it build.
The opportunity is past per se, because Virgil Ortiz has exited 147. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if they were still operating at 147, that would be the fight to make in the division.
And that's true.
Which is crazy. We're saying that for 147, that would be the fight, but that's not even the fight anymore.
Exactly. Like and that's what I'm saying. Like, man, it's crazy because to a little bit of a point, it's still an option. Like,
but I mean, the thing is, if Virgil Ortiz is playing at 154 right now, okay, stop playing and fight Crawford. Like,
yeah.
Hey, and I'm saying that because Crawford's name has come out of his mouth, man. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? You at 154 now, Crawford at 154. I mean, hey.
trajectories, all of that stuff, man. Hey, it has a funny way of working its way out. But I would still give the nod to Virgil because of that. Like the point where they were at and the path that he was on, it was only derailed by the sickness from overtraining that he had. Really, this young man has continued to fucking knock people out, and stop everybody. And I can't say that Blair Cobbs has been in that same ilk exactly. Now, yes, resume wise, when you do pit it together, like, Broner is a great name to have on the resume, and to have, as you said, Courtney, it's not like he's going into his late 30s, early 40s, and just not knowing when to fucking hang it up. He is not knowing when to hang it up, but it's early for him. So
Broner's a decade past it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. It's an early exit, but
he's not a few years past it, a few fights past it.
Yeah. Like age wise, it's still early, but Broner wise, it's fucking past prime. Like he's one of them, live hard, die young type, knock on wood, not saying that as far as, real, but like he's one of them type of guys. And so he's burned through that prime that was supposed to last a lot longer. Your gas mileage, you've been busting at 90 instead of 65. So your gas tank is emptied a whole lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? So like I see it and I respect the win for Cobbs, but I think that the types of wins and the resume and the reasoning for some of the lessened the slower trajectory for Ortiz, I would still give the favor to him. But to his point, to Jules' point here, which he talks about, it is a hard decision. So shout out for that. And that is a great question there.
Which kind of makes me question, when Virgil Ortiz was still a healthy 147, I always wonder how they didn't make that fight with Cobbs, being that Cobbs was also Golden Boy too, along with Virgil Ortiz. So, I mean, looking back, I always wondered how that never went into fruition. Maybe it wasn't because maybe Oscar was under marketing, under promoting Cobbs when Cobbs was a Golden Boy. Could that be it? So I'm.
Hey,
I'm gonna quote Sean Cameron. You know what I'm saying? When he was shout out to Sean Killer Cameron, man. When he was in the show, and his thoughts on Golden Boy is that, you know what I'm saying, he said Oscar does not know how to promote black fighters. Or promote to that demographic. I mean, I'm not saying that in terms of like, it's a purely racial, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the more demographic of, you know what I'm saying, he didn't know how to promote to that market. So, I mean, I think, I think that's an interesting take on it. But I mean, the thing is, if we saw how Blair looked against Alexis Rocha, I think that would have been a very painful night against with him being in against Virgil Ortiz. Looking where they're at, where they stack against each other on a skill level.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that if we were to see the two of them actually mix it up and get in the ring together, to Aaron's point, like why was that fight never really made, and why didn't we see that? I think if we did see that, it would have ended up in brutality, probably by about round 8 or so for Blair. It would have been entertaining, in the beginning, but yeah, I think that Virgil's motor and power and that just that work rate, man, like, and the power he possesses in both hands, I think it'd have been ugly for Blair.
Hey, and it's still a shout out to Killer Cameron, but as I'm thinking about it, that's not a quote that was attributed to him. That was Marcus Nall from Ohio Run Boxing. So shout out to Marcus Nall, shout out to Ohio Runs Boxing. Yeah, I can attribute that. I can attribute that quote to him. But yeah.
So I'm talking about. Hey, last thing, man. So we can transition from this one a little bit. Just any thoughts? I know we're talking about Julian's talking about the rowdy Saudi Turkey. And what I also want to say is I love the fact that he stated he does not love or like being called His Excellency, because I was not down for calling no other man His Excellency. So the rowdy Saudi is his fucking name. Hey, he's been in a lot of the social media buzz right now and talking about some rumors of on to buy out all of the major promotion companies and almost get his Dana White on a little bit. We've also seen some recent moves with making Bud Crawford an official ambassador, like the signing of him and Jared Big Baby Anderson for a year. Like we've seen some moves that are going on. We've seen some things that have started to lean into and hint into some other areas into where things could bleed into for boxing when it comes down to Turkey. So just overall, what Julian's talking about, just some thoughts into that, and just some of those recent, things that have been announced. Just any thoughts or things that you guys would like to share regarding that. Well, I'll start with you, Aaron.
First up, I read this good article. Shout out to Gail Falconall.
Yes,
esteemed writer for NY Sports. She broke it down beautifully, but to itemize it briefly, it's 12 divisions, 15 fighters each division, and people are saying it's a buyout, but technically it's not. Turki Alalshikh. I'm trying to get used to pronouncing his full name because he's always in our minds now. But he's trying to through the fund. He's trying to do a partial stake across all major promotional companies, so that they could all get their fighters into this one league, streamline them, so that we could get like an ongoing league, basically, to make all these fights happen, so that there's no more promotional barriers between top fighter versus top fighter. Basically, to give the fans what they want, the matches that we want to see, in the shortest amount of time, to make those fights to shorten that time span. So just on that idea alone, I support it. But looking into that article by Gail, the major pushback will be the U.S. Senate, because they're worried about money whitewashing, meaning that there's too much of a heavy influence with the amount of money that Saudi Arabia is putting in. So there's issues of heavy external influence, and also diverting attention away from issues that they're having with the environment. So a lot of intricacies, a lot of issues have to be worked out outside of boxing to make the boxing league possible. But aside from that, I support this league in general. But of course, as the saying goes, there's devil in the details, and those details, they have to be they can't be shied away from, and hopefully it gets worked out.
Hey, you the devil is in the details, and that's a very key point right there. Courtney, what's your thoughts?
Listen, I always say this about boxing. I would say, aside from soccer, football, whatever you have, whatever the pronunciation that is acceptable in your region, your country, but aside from soccer, as we as Americans know it and call it, boxing is the most global sport there is. So I think the fantasy notion that the Saudi royal family is going to inject money and make boxing into an umbrella like UFC is absolutely impossible. because there's just certain areas where there are elite fighters, where their promotional entities, their television contracts, you know, their adverts are all too closely entrenched. I think the Saudis can come in and basically turn American boxing into a UFC, but then that would put it in a bubble as far as existing outside internationally. Because I mean, he's not going to go over to England and and take it over the way the way he's been poaching other fighters. He's not going to go to Japan and and basically tear down that structure over there. He's not going to go into Mexico and till that up. So I think, and I don't honestly, I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I think we as boxing fans, like I said so many times, we have a notion inside of our head of something, and it's very hard for us to let it go. But like Aaron said, the devil's in the details. All right, look at what's really going on. He raises the point, the headway that's going to catch with him doing that in America or bringing a league to America is the same thing that happened in golf when Liv broke and start poaching away from the PGA. We look at super leagues like they tried to consolidate all the championship premier leagues in soccer over in Europe. And then that was met with a whole host of governments filing antitrust lawsuits against that, and that caved. In the United States, we have a federal law called the Muhammad Ali Act that basically, though it's circumvented a lot, you can't have conflicting interests in the sport. Especially as it pertains to monetarily compensating fighters and fighter safety. So those things are going to have to be tricky, and he's going to need the promoters that are in place and that are established in order to do that. So I think it's one of those things where he's going to inject money to prop up the promoters who are in the game right now. Because I think before he entered the chat or entered the conversation, there's a lot of people who were there were a lot of promoters who were doing good, attracting fighters, doing good business on television, and compensating fighters. But as far as their model, it was no longer going to be sustainable. And you see people going belly up on the deals they've signed and the partnerships they've made to fund their promotions. Notably Al Heyman, and with Eddie Hearn, as dynamic as he's been, people are really starting to wonder, like, yo, with DAZN, this is turning out not to be what was promised to us. Because every other big, now every big fight on DAZN is a pay-per-view, and you got to shell out $119 a year for a DAZN membership. So, so I think in order for these platforms and these Bob Arum has been saying, like, he'll never be in bed with the Saudis, but it's been on the rumor mill for a long time that he's looking, to at least sell or take on a big money partner. And it was rumored that he was looking to do that with the UFC, which makes sense because they're both on ESPN, and the money, the revenue stream that UFC is bringing into ESPN is basically what's holding up Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. And if you look at when Top Rank first went to the ESPN, there was a fight on every weekend. Now their output is kind of, is drastically slowing down on ESPN. I think what the Saudi royal family is looking to do is they're looking to diversify and look for money, in streams to make money outside of oil, because what they're not telling us is that the oil in Saudi Arabia is drying up, but that's a geopolitical conversation. But it's looking to be a very marriage of convenience that's going to ultimately save the relevance of the sport, and keep the fans that are tuned in invested. And if they can come in and partner with different promotional entities around the world, that just adds to and expounds upon the global impact and the global nature that is the sport of boxing. We've seen quasi fight leagues before, and we've seen them work to varying degrees. The Super Six, you know what I'm saying? There's people still wanting that brought back because, you know what I'm saying, what it yielded. The Boxing World Super Series, you know what I'm saying, that basically catapulted Noya Inoue and, you know what I'm saying, Alexander Usyk, and catapulted them to American television and mainstream recognition. You know what I'm saying? Those have been models that have been successful and that have worked. But it takes a lot of money to do that, and it takes a lot of money for different promotional entities to sit down and cooperate with each other. So that's what Sheikh Al-Turki, or Turki Alalshikh, whatever. That's what he recognizes, and that's what he sees as a boxing fan, and a boxing fan who has resources to, okay, that's how we're gonna be progressive in, you know what I'm saying, in taking things forward in the boxing, because we're in the 21st century, but boxing is still stuck in a very 20th century business model and mind frame. I think what he's coming in and trying to do is to shake and just modernize it. As far as coverage, it's digitized, it's gone on streaming platforms. Okay, that portion is caught up. Now, in terms of offering the full spectrum of fights and the best fighting the best, that's what needs to update. That's what needs to buffer. And I think that's what they're trying to get going in the sport right now.
Yeah, man, 100%. And I think that one of the biggest things that was pointed out is like they're not necessarily trying to like buy out and take away all of the entities, but to try to figure out a way to umbrella it as much as possible without stifling, all of the growth. And one of the biggest things you said is Turki. He sees that somewhat as someone that is more of a liberal-minded type. Like he's a little bit on both sides. Like he's all for the business aspect of it because the man's about making money. He's about his money. He ain't about just giving his fucking money out. Like he's about making
as
very
he told
sound.
Canelo.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna make very fucking sound, wise investments with this fucking money that I have. I didn't get this money and just have this money just to give it away. So while I do feel that he does understand and recognize that, he has the ability, to show what can be done when, for the lack of better words, money is not an option, or a hindrance. What can happen, and we're seeing some of that, right? We're seeing some of that in some of these cards that are being put together, the promotion of it, like the things that are going on with it. We're seeing what it could be, but devil's in the details. There's more to it. There's more to make it happen. In anything, there are inherent trade-offs. If what we're seeing is so wonderful and great, there's something on the back end that's not so great, that we're seeing, that we're experiencing, or that has to be done in order to make it happen. And so, like, I do see that he's on both sides of that. As a little bit of a fan that has outstanding resources, and somebody that's a very smart, wise businessman, in terms of just business period, and somebody that's heavily invested in deeply inside of the boxing world right now, and where we can go from there. So I do think that this is promising. I actually love this idea, this whatever comes from it. I think everything that we're seeing from this is great. But again, the devil's in the details, because we don't know what could happen on the back end of this. What are those things that we may not like? We may fucking hate, and what we might get ourselves into. But right now, the things that we hate about what we love, the hate that we love, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll fucking take it like dead ass. I'll take it all day.
A former guest panelist we need to have back on to speak to the legal ease for dummies on this shit. would be Nick Angarame. I
Yep,
think we
yep.
can have him on, and he can completely break this down and
Yes.
dispel all the myths and be like, all right, this
Come
is
on,
what
Nick.
is actually feasible with this happening. This is what is just a flight of fancy.
Hell
So
yeah.
so I'm sure we'll have an opportunity at a later date to get on and let him speak a word on that.
Yeah, man, 100%. Aaron, I don't know if you had any last thoughts on this, but I think we about where we at on this. What you got on it, man?
Just one last minor thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a handful of people thinking that that Turkey, that he's coming in at like some big business honcho looking to make big bucks off it. I don't see it that way. I kind of see it as if he really truly cares about the sport, and he's trying to come in it like a self-assigned commissioner, so to speak, like a David Stern or like a Goodell in the NFL. Like, he sees a lot of problems with the sport, and he wants to fix it. And
he's coming in like he's trying to be like the new head of the NFLPA or something, like, like the Players Association. Like,
he sees too many, right? And he sees too many imbalances in the P&L stat sheet, right. And he wants to balance it out. Right. And as far as once that's taken care of, that's actually going to take care of the profitability of the league in itself. So that's going to come later. But I think what's most important to him, which benefits all of us, is that he cares about the sport a lot. And he wants to fix all the imbalances, all the rotten areas of professional boxing globally. And, he's trying to do, he envisions this project as being the answer. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, man. A lot of great things that I feel are to come from, what Turkey's bringing to the table. We've already seen some very solid things so far, as just, some brief previews and peeks behind the curtain into what could be in store for boxing. And, to Aaron's point, the care that he's showing, the intentionalism that he's showing when it comes down to some of these moves that he's making financially and strategically for boxing. I think it'll be very, very positive. And so I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. So with that said, man, hey, it's been a wonderful episode. It's been episode 107 in the books. We're gonna do some sign offs. So, Aaron, you got some sign offs. Hey, first thing, man, shout out to everybody that's been in our chat, joining us, just getting stupid active, bringing up topics, new things. Hey, we love when this is happening. Please, everybody, listeners, if you listening to this live, you listen to this on a replay, whatever it is, please like, share, subscribe, follow us, share it with some people, talk about it, let them know, some people that that are even just interested in the sport or love the sport like we all do. Share it with them. Help push this movement. Like and subscribe to us. But man, let's get to any sign offs that you got, Aaron. You out there right now? Have fun, dude. Enjoy. Tiff said it as well. Enjoy it, man. We already know you getting some good things going right now, and enjoying those festivities and the event. So have extreme fun and enjoy that shit, bro. But anything you got just to sign off?
Yeah, shout out to you, Tommy, for being the host and being a great overall friend and panelist as well. Corny, the Burt Brown shirt tanner, one of my day ones. We go years back. Always blessing us with your insight, your knowledge. Shout out to Tiffany Daniels, who couldn't be with us in the physical, but she's with us in the chat. Shout out to you with everything going on, and also on your definite path to becoming, well, you are a professional official. And also shout out to Stephen Ruiz, doing big things. I know he's busy as of late. And shout out to Michael Gomes, one of the top real estate gurus in the nation. Shout out to you, man. And also our honorable mentions: D-Rock, Daniel Pena, and Eddie Leyenda Futuro Sanchez out of Corcoran, California. Shout out to you guys and everyone in the chat. Shout out to Julian Givens, No G Dallas. Hope I didn't miss anyone. Yeah, everybody in the chat. All the boxing pages, media groups, Supreme Boxing, Front Proof Media, Long Live Boxing Podcast, 3D Boxing, all you guys. So we're blessed to have you guys on, listening to us and following us. That's all I gotta say about that. But Corny, what you got, man?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you basically ran the full gambit of, you know what I'm saying, shout outs and the people to reach for. Hey, as always, a shout out to Tiffany Daniels. And thank you for acting a fool with us today in the comment section. Even if you couldn't be on with us, that's love right there. That's huge. That's major. We appreciate you. We love you for loving us. Hey, you know, shout out to Brandon Griffith as always. The man who took us global. You know what I'm saying? It's to a point, man, where the global influence and our reach has gotten to the point where I can't even name off all the countries, you know what I'm saying, with people who are rocking with us. But just know wherever you are, and whatever place you are in this world and in this life, we thank you so much for rocking with us. We thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the movement. And just know that we are fully committed to just keep on bringing it to you. And bringing you the real for real, the true and unadulterated views on this podcast as they concern the sport of boxing. We love y'all, and we just hope that you'll continue to rock with us in this movement and bring as many people along for the ride as you can. And also for all our partner platforms, as you already know, we are about. We're not about competition. We're about inclusion and partnership and the spirit of cooperation on this podcast. And that's because that's just helped us grow and that's helped us sharpen all our tools. And like we said, we love it when our fans become the fans of people on other platforms and other people, the platforms they come and rock with us and they bring their fans and they become our fans as well. There is enough space in this space for us all to get a piece, man. And it's beautiful things. And we're just really excited for the things on the horizon and the content we will be able to continue to bring you on this platform. So we thank everybody, and we just hope everybody is well, and you know, it just keeps rocking with health and peace and prosperity. And Aaron, hey, we hope you enjoy the fights, man. Hey, if I was there in the stateside, you know, I'd be out there rocking with you. We'd probably be on camera at the same time, man. But hey, enjoy the fights, man. And we know that you'll have some great content and some great things to share when we come back on the air for our next episode.
Hey, man, you already know what it is, man. Shout out. Hey, shout out to y'all, man, for just again getting active and being on it. You know, we got Aaron on site. We got Courtney overseas. Hey, we getting down, bro. We getting down, man. Like, no, it don't matter what's going on. We ready. We about the action. I definitely want to shout out the whole entire crew. You know, I know that I've been extremely busy lately, just a lot of travel and stuff like that, and just absent. So I appreciate everybody for holding that down, because I love being in the mix on this shit. I love getting live and active with everybody and being on the podcast and being able to speak to the public when it comes down to what we all love about this sport. And so you know, not being able to be on, I'm like, shit, you know. So I love getting in this shit, man. So shout out to y'all for holding it down and continuing to keep this thing moving as we already know it needs to, and what we're doing. You know, it's episode 107. We've been barreling through. It was like just yesterday we hit episode 100. So we had 107 already, and we getting down to it, providing that content for everybody, because there's a lot of fucking great boxing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we you know, people can talk that shit all day. You can talk boxing is dead. You can talk all that fucking stupid ass shit all you want to. Boxing ain't fucking dead. We got a great fucking fight going on right now. We got new shit on the horizon that we just talked about. Man, we got all kinds of stuff going on. Like, great all-time fights that's happening. Like it's all love to everybody that's in it, all of the other people that are doing this podcast, media, web, all of that. Love y'all. And hey, special shout out. Happy birthday to my mom's. It's her birthday today. So
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
happy birthday to my mom's, Loretta Rush. Hey, love you. Thank you for providing life. You know, love it. Hey, this has been a wonderful episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been episode 107 of the Standing A podcast. Without a doubt, we're going to be here. But right now, we out. Later, y'all.